So the 75122 declarations of any disposable pecuniary interest. I'm having a hard time speaking tonight. Is there any? No. No. Okay. Fine. 75222. Apologies for absence. Nope, I think we're all here. So yes, this is good. 75322. Appointment of the Thetford Garden and Allotment Club to run an annual allotment competition.
Right, to go back, is Dave Hodgson on here? Or is he on?
Yes, he hasn't apologised as far as I'm aware.
So we have no apologies, but he should be there. So open for discussion on the appointment of the Garden and Allotment Club. Anybody got anything to say?
Yeah, we've done it before, haven't we?
Yeah, they've done it all the time, but we had a discussion with the allotment club, informal meeting, and we'd like to formalize it because there is absolutely no formal agreement between the allotment club and Thetford Town Council.
How did we manage to give them some money towards judging and the judges' lunches?
Yes, I know. We've been doing it, but it's been informal. I'll let the officer explain it.
I think what really happened is it came across a sponsorship. So everyone was saying we are sponsoring that. It was just like a kind of grant to them. And it's only really, in fairness to the Thetford Garden Club, I mean, how this all arose, if I could just take one step back, is that, you know, every year we get a lot of administration demands for it. And I must admit, I got a little bit frustrated last year because we don't have the capacity to run around and do certain things, and there was a whole lot of expectations of us. But the Thetford Garden and Allotment Club are adamant, and they provided some evidence that they actually have been running the allotment competition on, you know, their competition incorporates the allotment competition. And if you have a look at all the invoices, which I managed to do, I managed to dig out a lot of the old invoices. They actually say that it's a fee for judging, for printing the certificates, for doing everything related to the competition. But we've always limited it to it used to be slightly higher, but in the last few years it's been limited to £100. And the idea is that if they go over that particular budget, well, it's for their particular costs. So what we've tried to do is just formalize what is our responsibilities, what is their responsibilities, and you know, if it's part of our competition, should the councils have, should you participate in the judging, for example? Should you look at the criteria? Should the Thetford Town Council get a little bit of a profile at the presentation? Because I went last year for the very first time, I couldn't recall. I know the mayor did all the presentations and congratulated everyone and did that type of thing, but there was not a formal recognition that there was actually our competition. And separating out the allotment side from the other side was also quite vague, because there was a lot of prizes given out, but not all of them related to allotment. Some of them related to the best cake and the best tomato and the best cucumber, whatever the case may be. So it was really just an opportunity coming back here to reaffirm whether we do want to run the competition and what are those criteria and what do they need to take into account, if any.
I mean, I've been to several of the things. It's the one in the Methodist Church, isn't it?
Correct.
When they do the things there.
Yeah.
It's several of those. Dennis has nearly always been.
Yeah.
You went last year, you're not there. But Jenny and Brenda were there last year.
Yeah.
Rightly. One of the things that has often come up about this Thetford Garden Allotment Club is how many allotment holders are actually in it.
Well, supposedly they do go around and include that would go around. So according to what they said to us, what they do is they do a pre-judging and then they do a judging. So someone will go around and do all the hard work in terms of scoring, etc. And then what they'll do is the judges will go around and actually.
We've been round once before. We went round 4 or 5 years ago with Brian, looking at some allotments and judging, didn't we? Some of us did it.
Yeah, we did, yes.
We didn't over COVID. The 2 COVID years, we didn't go then, but some of us have been round with the judges, the allotments, judging.
And do we want to formally state that the committee wants to have an input to the judging? You know, that's one of the things. And the other thing is, when you get a letter inviting you to go to the allotment show and everything, which is really nice. Like I got a letter as the chairman of the committee saying, would I like to go and present some trophies? Well, when I got there, all I did was stand there and look at the things and do nothing because the mayor gave all the trophies out.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
So, I mean, we need to formalise what we're going to do and everything, you know.
I mean, I have no problem with the mayor handing out the trophies. I don't
No, but there is a Thetford Council trophy.
Yeah.
There is a Pacific trophy that's worth, well,
Apparently, everyone says it's worth £1,000.
worth over £1,000 of the trophy. It's valued insurance wise. And maybe, you know, a member of the committee could give that out, you know, something. But anyway, it's up to us to decide what we're going to do.
I have no objection to us carrying on supporting the.
I can't remember, when was it held last year?
The judging,
Yeah, go ahead.
the judging takes place in June, and the presentation is done the first Saturday in September.
Makes sense, I wasn't there because I was in Norwich.
But this year, some of the allotment holders were, the two complaints I had, the two kinds of complaints, and it was by more than one person each complaint, was one, saying people get the winnings all the time. You get that. And the other one was, it's unfair because certain people have access to water and other people don't have access to water. And the ones who have access to water are obviously going to have a better allotment. And I couldn't argue with that to a point, you know.
Do we have a set of standards that the allotments are judged by ourselves?
I'm not too sure, but if we decided to go forward, that would be one of the.
Yes, I remember when I went round, one really lovely allotment on the Bumpton Roads thing was marked down because they only had one variant of stuff crate. But it's a really lovely allotment, it's tidy, clean, everything, but they only had one crop. That's the right word, they only had one crop growing, and they were sort of marked down at that.
This committee should, in the future, and it's going to be the new committee, to a great extent, what it does is do a set of criteria, a set of rules and criteria how they judge the allotments.
With the allotment holders help, because I'm not.
Yeah,
You know, but to come and say, this is what we'll judge allotment on tidiness, settlement, you know.
we can have an informal meeting with the allotment holders and work out some sort of and also the Thetford Garden Allotment Society, bring them in and work out, you know, judging rules, because we're not experts on allotment.
We're not, and I loved an allotment on the Bury Road, on the London Road, but it was mainly ours, of which someone said, oh, that's not really what an allotment is for. I thought, you know, it's really nice. And
According to our rules, they are allowed to, I don't think they're supposed to have
I can see that because
whole lot of flowers.
I don't like to cut them from my garden. So you know, if you could grow them separately on the allotment and then cut them. But
you know, I mean, it's a different criteria with it, but I mean, yeah, definitely have a list so we know what's in looked at.
But include the allotment holders and the Thetford Garden Allotment Club
Yes, that's right.
in this, because they know their allotments better than we do. I mean, you know,
Where like the allotment reps would come in,
yeah,
you know, and not just put out the allotment holders, but make, you know.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they must have a list somewhere they adhere to now. Surely the starting point is rather than send us a copy, you know, I mean, then organise.
They do have a tick box, because I've seen it.
oh, good, yeah, well, then, yeah, that's it. Let's get that in and then we can have something to build on, don't we? Okay.
So if we had to just run through the agenda points, and first of all, I have to apologize, the agenda that went out was not numbered properly, so the content hasn't changed, but the numbering has changed, so I do apologize, and it follows on the finance, so that's my fault. What happens when all the staff go and leave, they leave it in the hands of the people that aren't very good at doing it. But basically, so to continue to run the allotment competition, It's to appoint the Thetford Garden Allotment Club to continue running the competition on behalf of the committee
With,
with what some of the factors that you've said today. So looking at the judging criteria and the inclusiveness, etc. Confirm the financial contributions. We have a budget of £100, so whether we retain that. And lastly, to participate in the judging of the allotments. And if we're happy with that, then
We're already happy.
yeah,
so we have an informal meeting on the 20th of April with the allotment representative. I'm just going to set out all the paperwork for that. Should we include this on that particular item?
I think so.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, you don't want to spring it on. No, that's for sure.
So let's include, if we're agreed to this, which we are, obviously, let's, take it forward at the informal meeting.
Just see what they say, yeah?
So do you want to propose and get a seconder?
Well,
Take everything on.
propose, seconder, and we'll all vote for it. I'm not the kind of chair who doesn't vote. I have a
The
right.
good news is, come next time round, we might have more camping. Jenny went last time.
Yeah.
So, because of when it was, but.
Well, we live in interesting times, don't we? So we'll bring the meeting to conclusion. I have one thing to say after the meeting's ended.